So the dream, don't you run away from me. So the dream, why won't you wait for me?
Kia ora tātou katoa. Koutou nei rau kamai nei, ki runei tēnei ipurani, ki runei Instagram, here on Twitch, and mihi kautani a koutou. O tira ki o tātou nā mate, te mate kai wane nui a mātou I te no te māhure, ara hoki no nā tirono, tērā o mātou whanauna kia koe e timi rai. Aroha ke nei rai na I tēnā mate I runei a koe a kua mahea tō tinana, mahea te wairua, ka tira e te tuakana haere tōmura. Yeah, and so kia ora everybody, here at the mira here in Mānuka Tūtahi, whakatāne, nā tiawa, mai nā kuri a whare ki tihirau, so we got online here our brother Turu Mākina, kia ora Turu Mākina, and he's here with us to have a quarter about moko, art, and what's happening in Brisbane. And why is it that our people are living there? Maybe the hot weather, maybe better money, maybe more kai, or whatever. So we might have a chat with Tu about that, and his partner and his beautiful wife. No reira, kia ora tātou. What's on today, lads?
Kia ora. Hey, my bro.
Yeah. Well, we still got the silent auction still out there, so maybe waiting they can start blasting that tonight.
Straight into it, Dad? Down to business. That's the way.
Well, we can have a chat with him, yeah.
Tēnā koe hoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, no mai hara mai e hoa. So where are you? You're in Brizzy, eh? Jeez. Oh yeah, oh, nice. Do you frequent the theme parks, do you? Bet you do. Oh, don't you? Oh. True. What is the temperature over there at the moment? Whoa. Shoot. Yeah, we got to. Now we gotta check that. Can the stream here to the Makina? Oh, they didn't. They couldn't, could they?
Oh shit! No, I just realised. No, I've just had a phone call. I'm on the phone now, and yep, my mate Tafina was going. We can't hear him. So I've just turned on the mic.
Yeah,
I've just turned on the mics now. I see what I've done wrong.
Fire the
everyone.
Fire the tiki.
That's what happens when I have a week off. I can't figure out the sound, and it's all fucking it's crazy. So, aroha mai bro. So let's recap. Let's recap. They all heard Dad, which was fine. So so no mai haramai. Where are you right now, my bro?
Yeah. So right now I'm in the Gold Coast. Our home is in a little place called Pimpama. We border on the Gold Coast, Brisbane sort of boundary. Right by the theme parks here, and it's a pretty hot day here today. Really warm.
Yeah, like
awesome.
Aussie hot, not New Zealand hot, eh?
Aussie hot, bro. It's a bit unbearable for me in summertime anyway.
It's like when you go to the Thai place and you go, oh, can I have it hot? And they're like, New Zealand hot or Thai hot?
Yeah.
New Zealand hot.
You want real hot?
Oh, and so who we got on the table today?
Yes. So my client today is Alicia.
Hello, Alicia.
She's has ties to her queer who was in Makatu area, Ahoite. She's been endeavouring to delve into the whakapapa and learn a bit more about the whānau, a bit of a mishmash. She can't find a lot of info. So today we're connecting her to a queer and also her journey over the last few years of conquering her fears. So she's been learning deep sea freediving to do that.
Amazing.
So her moko's going to reflect all of that.
Oh, well, thank you, Alicia, for letting us jump in and stream your mahi getting done live.
Thank you.
It's an honour, kia ora.
Kia ora, Lisa.
Mean. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, awesome. I'm hoping everyone can hear us now, whānau. Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, and make sure I'm taking care of my job, my one job.
Yeah, I'd say you got one job, bro, but you don't actually, so we'll cut you some slack, eh? One job.
One job. Oh, look, who we got in the comments right now?
Haven't even got Dad on camera.
Kia ora to the whānau on Facebook there. We've got Peho. Peho, did you give us some stars there before? Oh, kia ora for those stars, thank you. We had an Adam Nicole. I think that might be some spam. Be careful of the spam out there, people. Don't click on anything outside of what's in the stream.
Crazy times, crazy times.
Aaron Kerr, Echo Allen, kia ora boys. Good to see you. Tipene, Alva. And over in Twitch land, we've got Tashi George. Good to see you. We've got to make Tashi George a mod for our Twitch channel, I think.
Tashi George.
Got to hook her up on that because she's. Oh, there's Honey. Sure.
Yeah,
How you going, Honey?
Yeah, kia ora.
Cheer, honey. Kia ora, my bro. Yeah,
We got Axiom Ultra Mega. Good to see you again, bro.
I'm just trying to get onto our Facebook to see if I can mod it a little bit because there's some people posting all sorts of bloody goddamn shit.
I think I'm getting a double happy on you on that microphone too, bro.
Oh yeah, 2 for 1. Oh, it's this mic. Sorry. I'll switch that off.
Kinds of sound issues today.
So what are you working on there, Dad?
Well, I'm still scaling it. I haven't quite get there, but you can start visualizing urban situation, movements, as a response to misinformation in the space. So,
Oh, this is your response to the annual plan, isn't it?
yeah, the annual planning.
That's right.
Yep, all good.
All right, you wanted me to talk real quick, Dad, about the silent auction, which is currently running on the website. So for those of you who haven't seen the post that we put out just recently, which is Dad's released a series of a bunch of work, roughly about 12 paintings. Is it 12? Yeah, 12. Yep, and possibly some more by the time we get to that last one. But tameiti.co.nz. There's the first 4 paintings in the series of silent auctions that we're running sort of in consecutive weeks. So you can jump on there. There's and put your best offer in for the works that are in there at the moment. The 2 that seem to be getting the most action, I can probably tell you, which are Tāpapa and Ruatoki District. Is it high school number 5? Which is in that batch. So they're currently the ones that are sort of seeing the most bidding action happen. And yeah, so go and have a look. That closes tomorrow midnight. So that's Thursday midnight, and then the new one will start Friday. So auction 2 will start on Friday.
Someone just sent us 100 stars and called us a sellout.
Yeah, I don't know if they're calling us a sellout. I'm gonna stay.
Maybe they're saying sell out of all of your art.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a positive spin because they threw 100 stars
positive,
at the same
yeah.
time. I'm like,
Yeah. Pina, what's the deal? The man, you'll have to give us some context on the sellout comment.
Yeah. That's the title that we came up, a name that we come out with. Sellout.
He lives over on the Gold Coast, so I don't know. Maybe he was talking to the bro.
Is that how you love it?
Man, it's something that kind of pops into my head actually too was the photo that you posted of the snake in your pantry. That's wild. It's fucking huge, that snake.
That was a decent size.
What was it? A python?
Yeah. Yeah, I went into the lawn, into our pantry in the kitchen, and load it up the internet. And I see something moving around on the top shelf. It was on top shelf. I look up and there's a snake going like this at me.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was insane.
You go to tameiti.co.nz, Angel, to go and look at the works that are in the silent auction.
Yeah, I've just posted that in the comments there.
Oh, yeah.
So too, are you pretty busy at the moment? Are you doing a lot of moko?
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I'm kind of booked out until June next year.
Wow, really?
Yeah, usually about 4 to 6 months in advance, because there's not so many moko artists around here. There's heaps, and there's a big Māori population where I am. It's huge Māori and island population around here. Gold Coast has the most Māoris in Australia at the moment, so there's heaps of work.
Yeah.
And what I'm really loving it too is it's not just arms and legs, it's chins and faces are starting to get done. And that's been really positive actually. Not just from the Māori community, but also from the local community as well. The response has been fantastic. Really exciting. Probably in New Zealand. That's uncanny. But it's awesome.
What's your view on doing moko non-Māori?
I won't do facials on non-Māori, but I'll do body parts and stuff like that. I'll save the facial stuff. I've got no problems with tattooing arms and stuff.
Right.
Everybody's got a story to tell, and it's just one way of telling the story, and people are attracted to moko because it has that depth of kōrero, it has that reasoning behind it to actually tell a story through an art form that's quite out the gate really in terms of global scene. But they do understand that it's, they don't understand how to read patterns, but they do understand that it tells a story.
And how long have you been doing it for now, bro?
Oh, like 26 years? 27 years?
Yeah.
Half my life. Yeah.
And does your style keep evolving and you keep shifting and your work?
Yeah, I get bored real fast, so I change up. And plus, as my knowledge grows about the skin and what's best for the long-term art form in terms of people's long-term wearability, my design style has changed to match the medium, I should say. Our two when they had that down pack, man, they do it absolutely.
Because I hear there's over in Aussie, the bikers have got the tattoo industry on lock, don't they? You kind of can't just rock up and open a tattoo studio. So, oh yeah.
They used to, and then the cops, when they did a big blooming blitz for a few years back, they made everybody license up, and they raided all the gangster studios and stopped it. But they made us all license up.
Okay.
So yeah, now it's totally opened up a lot more, I should say.
Was it that was the thing back in the day though, huh? You had to be a little bit sort of cautious about
Connected, yeah.
Yeah. Connected.
I guess there's one way to put it.
Yeah, you fellas are a bit of a Moko mafia though, eh? Or you Moko superstar.
Oh, bro, we get called gangsters all the time. Literally, bro, I'll go to the dump one day and the guy at the dump is like, bro, are you a Mongol mob or a black tower?
We've got a couple of shout outs here. I just want to say thanks to Tangaroa for the sub on Twitch. Question here from now it's my turn. ISRW asking if you use black or green ink?
Oh, black base, black ink. The inks we use these days are pretty black. Traditionally, they would make them out of things like Cody gum and stuff like that, so it was more of a blue-based black. It was still charcoal black, but because there was a blue base to it, and once your our skin is kind of browny yellowish, so once that would heal over top, it would go a green sort of tinge. That's why the old tooth runners looked green. They used a blue-based black,
right?
Like Cody gum.
So how long is this piece going to take?
It's going to be today and tomorrow. So today we'll do the main outline, and then tomorrow we'll do all the fills. So today is probably a good, including the draw up, will probably be like 6 hours, 6-7 hours. And then tomorrow probably similar.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah, it's a long time, Alicia, to be sitting on lying there.
Yeah, tell me about it. You're right.
For most Māori, sitting still is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Has Tame had any ink done lately? I think I've seen them getting done recently.
Who? Dad?
Tame, yeah.
Did you get some more work done recently?
Hey?
Did you get some more work done recently?
I can't hear on the mic on my earphone.
One job. Why can't you hear us, Dad? Because you are on A3.
Oh yeah, A3. Oh yeah.
You should be able to hear us. Hang on, let me just check it. There, Dad, can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
No.
No, can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
No.
He's on A3.
I can hear it out there, but not on the earphones.
It wouldn't be that because you can hear me.
Yeah.
It's just on his.
So the question, Dad, from 2 was, have you got some more? Did you have some more work done just recently?
Oh yeah. I just got some fella from where's it called? From the one there from Tauranga.
Hang on.
The artist there from Tauranga.
Julie.
Can you see
That
that?
Julie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Julie. Here kai mahi. Yeah, and I got some of my artwork on my neck, at the back of my neck.
Turn around.
Strip down, bro.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Oh yeah, like your artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that little nihe. That looks like
Yeah,
a nihe
yeah,
on your
yeah,
back.
nihe.
Oh, this too. Classic.
You swapped that for a painting, didn't you?
Eh?
You swapped that for a painting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let fellas doodle on you.
Hey, I just want to say shout out to Kaitiaki Online for the gifted subs on Twitch. 5 gifted subs there, I think. Yep.
Oh, kia ora, Kaitiaki. Kaitiaki Online, that's you. Kai tautoko.
Aye. Your cousin Kellyanne in the States.
Oh,
in
kia ora,
Texas.
Kellyanne.
Kia ora,
Jeez.
Kelly.
Up at 1 o'clock in the morning again, eh, cuz?
Yeah.
Violet Titor, thanks for the stars on Facebook.
And bro, how has COVID impacted your mahi? You must have been on lockdown for a bit.
The initial lockdown, when it all first sort of erupted last year,
Oh yeah.
we were actually in Aotearoa at that time, and we flew back the day that they started self-isolation sort of process over here in Australia. So we flew back to 2 weeks of self-isolation. And then by the end of that 2 weeks self-isolation, the whole state was in lockdown. So we locked down for like 4 months.
Yeah.
We could have opened up in 3, but we kind of followed Aotearoa's lead instead of Australia's lead. We stayed locked down because our daughter's, she gets really bad asthma, so we've got to be really protective of it.
Yeah.
And, but we were fine, bro. I mean, I ended up just doing a whole bunch of commissioned art pieces. Did a whole lot of bunch of work with Mahi Atua, with Mark and Dai Corporal.
Yeah, beautiful.
We kicked all that off, and I managed to pick up a whole bunch of commissioned artwork. So, we did fine. I actually loved it, bro. I enjoyed the lockdown. You can't lock down an artist. We pretty much lock ourselves down all the time, anyway.
Put you in the zone.
In the zone, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful work, Mark Kapua, and what's his partner's name? His wife's name?
Diana.
Diana. That's
the
Mahi Atua. Yeah, it's amazing work they do though. That Mahi.
Yeah, it's really, really positive and really, really beneficial. I think for our people, you know, and just being a part of that, I've learned heaps about the medical system and the doctor system, and the psychiatric system. Just through Dai going through all of that as a Maori woman. The topic of systemic racism was always in there as part of the kaupapa and trying to decolonize the systems that we use to heal our people.
Yeah.
So that's the main kaupapa there for Mahi Atua. And we use our pūraka, we use all our stories, our creation stories, our atua stories to offer different perspectives on trauma and people's situations. So it's a pretty positive thing from my perspective. So painting all of that stuff for them has been awesome. That's a journey for me.
Totally. Because the mahi you do, people come in and get mahi done, and they feel that sense of belonging and connection, and that would be a mahi rongoa hauora hoki mā rātou, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Moko has definitely also, they use artists like myself as a big part of the process, because the whole, that whole whakatauki that says where there's art, society flourishes, And so they've come with that approach, and Moko has been such a healing thing for a lot of our people. I see it every day, how people come for heavy reasons, they can come for a lot, some really heavy reasons to get tattooed, and the process that they go through in getting a tattoo is what's the healing part of it. The process heals. Yeah. Powerful stuff, and powerful stuff.
Choice, because she's a psychologist, Di, isn't she? Oh, we lost her.
Psychiatry. Oh, sorry. Can you see me?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we got you, my bro.
I've just got a plug in my iPad. It's set. I'll get the one.
A psychiatry.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a trained psychiatrist.
Okay.
She was a GP as well, and then she moved into psychiatry.
Okay. You know, this massive work they're doing.
Yeah.
And just shifting the narrative and the paradigm within, you know, the switch, because it's such a generally a Western model and Western narrative. That's the institutionalized racism, where I think they call it weird psychology, Western.
Oh yeah.
Something. But the acronym is weird because a lot of the tests they did back in the day, which they based around a lot of, you know, health policy around, was actually the subjects of those tests were all people from the West. They were Western educated people, and they were applying the findings from those studies on indigenous people. And really, in terms of a sample base, it was a particular demographic, and actually globally it's quite a minority demographic, the people who come from the West. And so being able to have indigenous psychology and indigenous psychiatry and indigenous modalities within that space was really important. So now they're doing mahi rangatira, those ones, you fellas.
Yeah,
Kia ora.
it definitely is. Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
So
Brian. Oh yeah.
So basically, they travel around the motu and they train people in the health industry to use the model.
And so that model is like na pūrākau or na atue. So other people out there who that's our stories, our creation stories, the stories of the gods, the interrelationships between our gods, and using those stories as a not really a moral of the story, but as an allegory, I think they call it, isn't it? An allegory where the metaphor of those stories that you can apply to your own life. Yeah.
For instance, the Mataora story is really based around this whole notion of domestic violence. And when Mataora travelled back to Rarohenga to retrieve his wife and the Afo of Moko, he had to go through this whole process of transformation of himself in order to be worthy enough to not just wear the mahi, the Mataora, the Moko, but also to give it out to others. So there's this whole issue of domestic violence in their story that's so relevant for today, not just Māori, but everybody,
Yeah, we started some program many years ago, and dealing with our male violence. So we come up with several things, and I guess the same as in Moko, but we for a few years we set up a sweat lodge, Te Whare o Mahuikai. And they're really interesting too, because there's some of the stuff that our people have used, and in particular in Manga Pohatu, I hear other stories they use of the sweat lodge, but it's all around rituals and because one of the things that when I first attended some of these indigenous conferences, around healing and implementation to use our kōrero, our whakapapa, what part of that we can use in the tapawha, Te Whare o Wika, Te Whare o Mahuika is a really good one. It's really it's all around fire and and put yourself going in underground and it kind of push you to another level altogether, but doing that kind of practice, you got to make sure that people care about it. You don't want people to be freaked out and say, "Oh, I'm not going to come do that again," because it's a combination of heat. Because part of the rituals is when the lighting of the fire, in the lighting of fire, the use of the wood, because the rākau, the wahia, the wood, they are part that your children are tāne. So all of that, so you really got to go back to that. It's a sacrifice of tāne, giving the wood and enable us to light a fire. And then in the heating of the stove, the huatu. And so, you know, just like heating the stove for the hangi or the umukai. And so we, so some of this fire, te ahi ko mau, te ahi tahu, so all around the ritual around fire. And, you know, in dealing with your wairua, with your hinenaro. When somebody in the state of kahukapu, in the state of darkness, and you know, so all of that, others who romi, miri, kōrero, mō tea, all part of those rituals. Just like going on to marae Atea, it's all part of their ritual, you know, and making those connections between going to the marae Atea and the chief and the whare. And I think that these kind of practices are being encouraged. And I know that in Canada and in the States, the use of the drums, of the pahu, and the drums and the dance around the fire, they're all, I mean, it took some of the practitioners to really convince the system that this is what we want. This is what we want to do. You know, and just like Ngā Tamatoa about that reo. So, you know, just like the moko now. And, you know, when we first started to encourage our people to keep the mau moko, the wear the moko, the tīwhana, and so forth. And there was it wasn't very long ago actually, and we didn't really have any, that many practitioners like yourself. But through conversation and pushing it there, debating with our own people around that, bringing our practices, our arts, and the way we do things, and so here you are. And you know, and I remember you too in those very early days, you know, and you know, but you've always been a very good artist. No, there's no doubt about that. Your artistic ability, and you always had that, you know, and not like people like me. I was just all learning how to draw, you know, but I had to work hard around it, and you know, and I'm passionate about it. Yeah. So thank you to people like yourself, really, and you know, other than us pushing it, and like Bana, Tame Iti, all of those back in the old days. And we wanted to shift it, the kirituhi, you know, the markings, the facial markings, and take it to another level here. So here we are now today. Yeah.
When did you get your moko done, too?
I've had it like my younger boy from him 15. He's 15. I had it when he was born. Yeah, 15 years. 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And man, I'll tell you, yeah, something that, you know, at the time I was hanging out with your dad heaps.
Yeah.
You know, so and getting schooled up on a whole bunch of different types of kaupapa and politics and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So for me, it was a clear political statement in one sense, but also just the sheer positive influence it's had on my life, you know. You know, a lot of people kind of, you know, hey, you went to the Warriors and that kind of stuff, and you kind of get lumped into that sort of
that gang culture type stuff there.
Yeah.
Stereotype. Yeah.
But most people actually are not like that at all. You know, that's how you wear it, man. That's how you carry it. And you know, like I was saying with the mako of the story, the symbolism of it for me clearly now is one of being a good person in the world. You know, that's what the kaupapa is for me. around facial mataora now, and helping people to step up or break cycles. Think about all of that stuff that's gone on in the last few generations, and a lot of people are, in my opinion, kind of caught up in the victimization of our histories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I get it. I went through it myself. It's really easy. But that ain't gonna serve anybody unless you're using it positively, I guess. Like your dad, turn it around in action things. But a lot of people are not actually actively doing that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But just one thing what Dad was saying about those rituals that have been lost, rite of passage.
Yeah.
And talking with Dai Kopu about these type of kaupapa over the last few years, and doing my own reading because I'm quite interested in psychology as well. And I'm probably going to do my master's based around the loss of rite of passage and those type of ceremonies amongst our people. Because moko was used for that.
Yeah.
Rite of passage. That was part of its purpose. And psychologically speaking, if we're not handing down those rite of passages to our young people, they suffer for it in the end. We all are suffering for it at the moment. I mean, what's our modern day version of a rite of passage?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yadi.
Yadi, exactly. Hey, bro, welcome to adulthood.
Here's the key. We'll carve you up a mean key. Now, Scalayadi.
Hey, or key. Yeah.
I do not understand.
I mean, but it is interesting though, because there are a lot of, like, right now there is people are starting to look towards the indigenous cultures because they see that that's not just rites of passage, but also some kind of connection with ceremony that isn't religious necessarily. That there are values and stuff like that that they're wanting to connect with because there's been an absence of it.
Yeah.
In the Western colonial structures, and so now they're going, we're empty inside, and
need to move over at the table and let us all in, right?
Yeah.
We can all have a part of the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, shit, man.
And unfortunately, sometimes they end up using or utilizing certain parts of different cultures to try to fill that gap, like sage smudging, or there's certain festivals that are geared towards that now too, where you can go in and indigenous people watch those footage of those festivals. It's just
pay a ticket. You buy a ticket to get some cultural connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty fascinating space to be in right now in terms of seeing it and trying to, I guess, like what I'm seeing with some organizations and some Pākehā and Tauiwi organizations is that how they do it, like they make that first step. That's a tentative first step. It's kind of trying to, acknowledging that there is an absence and that there is a relationship between, let's say, tangata whenua and their place in, well, specifically in Aotearoa, and how they engage with that properly. And so, versus just throwing some Māori words into their vision, or throwing some Māori, changing their name to have Aotearoa in it. And so, and so really just kind of, but they're making those first steps, and then we're going, well, actually it might have been better if you'd done it this way, but you've made the first step.
Yeah.
And so let's fix that up a little bit and figure out how we can make sure the next lot don't do the same thing, and we can have that discussion. So
well, one of the things, and in particular around in jail, and what the system has to encourage having the Māori units, and that there's the Māori units in Waikeria, Te Ao Marama, and they are specifically designed as a place there where where guys doing, like me, doing time, are a place here where they will learn, where they learn about the kawa, learn about the reo, learn about the haka and all of that. So inmates that already have the knowledge, and people like myself and others. And so we, if you're doing 3 or 4 years in the lockup there, and then you can't really do anything. But they kind of encourage that, and I think that was, and I think it's a great idea. So Waikeria, and I think down in Wanganui too, they encourage the use of kawa and tikana around that. So all around that, and it's open to everybody. It's not just for tangata whenua, but also that other people outside non-Māori can also participate. So in the unit that I was in Waikeria, Te Ao Marawa, we had people from South Africa, Pākehā from, I think we had about, out of the 60 guys, there was 4 Pākehā in there. So those kind of practices and kawa and tikana inside the system has been encouraged. And also like, I'm having this conversation with the police, and people might think I'm selling out. And so having these conversations ever since the lockdown last year. And I done one on Zoom, and I done 2 visits down to Wellington, and just talking with the police, around the issue around how not to be an asshole, and this is, and all
Quite
of
universal, that
behavior,
one.
and all of that kind of conversation. Oh no, they will love it, and they still hired me to go there and have a chat. And I think we should open up the space that enable us to. I'm sure we can use this. It's important that we do this. And back in the days, that's really what Ngā Tamatoa is about. And the Polynesian painter was about to promote, to provoke, and for the mainstream, for them to whakarono and to hear our voices and so forth.
Do you miss those days, Dad? Like, do you miss your mates, the Ngā Tamatoa crew, like doing?
Yeah. I kind of miss the older generation, and then I'm starting to understand, over the years, when I'm talking to some of my old mates in the 80s and 90s,